Hi everyone, welcome to Silva's Cooking. Shepherd's pie is a dish loved by many, and my version of it takes it to a whole new level. So get ready for my amazing shepherd's pie recipe. I start by preheating my pan for a couple of minutes on medium heat. I add 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I like ground round because it doesn't have a lot of fat or too little fat. That's the ideal meat for my shepherd's pie. And I'm going to brown it. The ground beef is getting a little brown, so that's how I like it. It has a little juice at the bottom with a little fat. That's the perfect amount of fat for me to add 1 medium yellow onion, finely chopped. Give it a good stir, mix it up well. And I have this on medium-high heat, and I'm trying to saute the onion a little bit with the meat fat. Instead of adding extra fat to it, I just like to saute in the fat of whatever meat I'm cooking for the particular dish. Now I'm adding 3 garlic cloves grated, and mix it all up good too, along with the onion. Now that they're both sauteed, I'll add half of a small green bell pepper, finely chopped as well, and mix it all up. Let it all saute along with the meat. That's how I like to do it. So all the flavors marry early on together. And I like for them to saute in the meat juices. Make this flavor concentrated with these 4 amazing ingredients. This dish is great because it feeds a crowd. It's not that expensive to make, and it's so flavorful and versatile. You can have anything with it. I'm making it in my hex-clad wok, but you can make it in any saucepan you like, as long as it's a large one. To all these beautiful juices, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and stir. To this juice, I add 2 heaping teaspoons of tomato paste and stir. Mix it all up in that juice and fry everybody together. Put on medium heat now. Fry that tomato paste with everybody to develop its flavor. To that, I add 1 beef bouillon, and I like Knorr because Knorr is a little more dense and makes the sauce a little creamier. It's not powdery like some other bouillons you see. I'm gonna fry it all together. See, it's gonna dissolve along with the juice and develop its flavor as well. Now it's time to add half a tablespoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Mix it all up. Let everybody fry together. The smell is already awesome. A little ground black pepper. And now it's time to add 3 tomatoes on the vine that I cored, peeled, seeded, and chopped well. Now, when I seeded these tomatoes, I put the seeds in a strainer on a glass bowl, and I caught all the juices. Then I put the chopped tomatoes in the glass bowl with the juice, and I was able to remove all the seeds, because if you know me by now, you know I don't like seeds in my food. So since I added the tomato, I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more to medium. I'm going to add a little splash of Worcestershire sauce and stir. Let everyone marry, let everyone meet each other and develop their flavors together. It's key to the flavor of the sauce. And to enhance it even more, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of ketchup. It's not too sour, it's not too sweet, it's not too salty. It's just perfect, a perfect ingredient for any tomato sauce. I add it to most of my meat sauces. Love it. It really develops a different flavor. If you're not used to it, try it. You will see what I mean. Now it's time to add 2 cups of filtered water. I like filtered water, as you know. I tasted for salt, and I believe it's safe for me to add 1 more beef bouillon. I like beef bouillon because it has a lot of flavor. But if you don't like it, you may just use salt or any seasoning that contains salt. like garlic salt, onion salt, seasoned salt even. And I let it all dissolve and come to a boil. This is the best meat sauce you ever have, everyone. It is absolutely delicious. Okay, so now that it's boiling, I'm going to cover, turn it down to low, and let it simmer for 10 minutes. My sauce has simmered for 10 minutes. And I'm going to stir it a little bit. Once you taste this sauce, you're never going to go back to that old meat sauce again, or that old ragu sauce, none of that. I'm going to add some frozen mixed vegetables that was already open. I need to use it. So let's say there's about a cup, maybe a cup and a quarter in there of frozen vegetables. You may add whatever vegetable you want. You may add fresh carrots, frozen peas, fresh, anything you like. This is what I had in my freezer, and I really have to use it because I don't want it to get freezer burned because it was already open. I absolutely love these because these little beans right here, they're really tasty, little lime beans. Let it all defrost in there. Delicious. In my freezer, I also have a little bit of this that I'm going to add, so I know I can use it up. I'm that kind of home cook. I use things that I have in my freezer, in my fridge, my pantry. I'm going to add just a little bit of that. Let's say another cup. So I added 2 cups of frozen vegetables to this. And I think 2 cups of vegetables are more than enough. I'm going to cover and let it continue simmering. While the sauce simmers, I'm going to cook the potatoes for the mashed potatoes. Here I have 7 russet potatoes, or 3 pounds, that I peeled and cut into large chunks. And add a little bit of salt. Well, a lot of salt. I'm adding probably about a tablespoon of salt. I'm going to boil the potatoes on high heat to start with. Mix it up a little bit. Get the salt all distributed in there. Cover and wait for it to come to a boil. Every once in a while, like every 5 minutes or so, stir your sauce a little bit. I'm going to turn it down and stir. Look how gorgeous this is. And the flavor, the entire house is smelling so good. Like garlic, onions, the seasonings. Delicious, everyone. Very, very good. I've had people comment on my spaghetti meat sauces saying that when they made it, their family loved it so much, they don't want anything else anymore. They only want my recipe, and I'm honored by that. That's why I started my channel. Just want to share my great recipes with everybody. The whole world. While my potatoes cook, I'm going to check on my sauce again. Give it a little stir. And then cover it back up. The potatoes are doing well. Stir it a little bit. I'm going to taste the water, see if it's salty enough for me. It is. It's perfect. The sauce is ready. I'm going to stir a little bit more. Turn off the heat. Cover and remove it from the heat. The potatoes are cooked, fork tender. It's time to strain them. I have my pan here on low heat, and I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of butter. I slice a little bit. That's 4 tablespoons because I had some leftover butter. And I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons to the pan. I'm going to rice my potatoes, and that's why I cut them into big chunks. It's just easier to load the ricer when they're cut in bigger pieces. And just squeeze it. And I'll do that to all of the potatoes. See how much easier it is to just add the bigger chunks in there? Yeah, I like it like this. I don't like chunks in my mashed potatoes. I like it creamy. I have a mashed potato video where I used a sieve. But that is kind of harder to do than this right here. This is just easier, I think. And the potatoes come out just as creamy. No lumps. And that's how I like it. I'm going to continue on until it's all done. I rice the potatoes. I'm going to mix it up a little bit with the butter that's at the bottom of the pan. And I'll be adding more probably. But for now, it's okay to get it started. And to that, I'm going to add half a cup of heavy cream with half a cup of evaporated milk. And what that's going to do, the heavy cream is going to add creaminess to the mashed potatoes. And the evaporated milk is going to add flavor. But you may just add whole milk if you wish. And I don't want to make this too soft or liquidy, because I need it to be a little firm for this dish. I'm going to taste it for salt. And it's delicious already. That's pretty much all we need to do right here. And I'll turn off the heat. Here I have roughly a 13 by 8 3/4 by 3 casserole dish. And I added a little bit of salted butter to it at room temperature so I can butter up the sides and bottom of it. This is really a lasagna casserole dish that I purchased on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description in case you're interested in getting one. So after I butter it up, I'm going to add the mashed potatoes. And this is where my recipe is different from everything else you have seen. I like using the mashed potatoes as a base to my shepherd's pie. I grated some Monterey Jack cheese and mozzarella cheese, and I mixed them up. I grated about 4 cups. What is not better with cheese? Now it's time to add the sauce. We like extra sauce here at home, and that's why I made this much sauce. The more, the merrier. Delicious. Spread it good, like that. My oven is preheating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. A little more cheese on top. And it's ready to go into the oven. I'm going to bake my shepherd's pie for 45 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And while it bakes, I'm going to make my favorite Brazilian rice. I started by placing my medium-sized saucepan on medium heat for a couple of minutes to preheat it. And I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of canola oil, enough to cover the bottom of the pan. To that, I'll add half of a small yellow onion, finely chopped, and 3 garlic cloves, grated, and stir to saute the two together. I made this rice a few times. This is my go-to rice. I made it in another video of my Brazilian feijoada and vinagrete. I love this rice with that. I love this rice with everything, really. Give it a good saute. Once it's soft, I add 1 cup of jasmine rice that I washed and let it dry a little bit in my rice colander. And stir. I fry the rice with the onion and garlic until it gets smaller and white. I also made a variation of this rice in my stroganoff video, my chicken stroganoff. I made with carrots. But since I have carrots in the shepherd's pie, I am not going to add carrots to this rice today. Give it a break a little bit. Let the part that's on the bottom fry a little, and then stir a little bit. Once it's all fried, I add 1.5 cups of water and stir. I add fine salt to taste and stir again. I cover and let it come to a boil. My rice has started to boil, so I turn the heat down to low, cover, and let it cook for 20 minutes. 20 minutes have gone by and my rice is cooked, because when I put my fork in there and I pull it and I see no water at the bottom and the top of the rice looks cooked, and it is cooked, then it's ready. So I'm turning off the heat, cover it, and remove it from the heat. And the rice is ready. The shepherd's pie is ready. And look how gorgeous this is. This is the most wonderful shepherd's pie you will ever eat, everyone. Absolutely perfect. I'm going to let this gorgeous dish rest a little bit for about 20 minutes. So when I cut into it, it'll be more set. Look how succulent this looks already. Can you imagine after I cut into it? And here I have my rice. It's waiting. I know, I like everything with rice, everyone. I can't help it. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm going to cut through the cheese with a knife. And into 3 pieces. Because the cheese is not as melty anymore, look how wonderful that is. It is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that layer of cheese between the mashed potatoes and the meat. And onto the plate it goes. Absolutely wonderful, gorgeous, and delicious. I'm going to put a little rice on the plate right next to it. This is one wonderful dish, everyone. Succulent, delicious. The kids are gonna love it. Everyone in the family is gonna love it. And I guess Betty loves it too. Do you smell that? Yeah, but you can't have it. What? What? Do you want a little bit? You can't have it. Poor baby, he's been smelling it. Do you like it? Do you like shepherd's pie, Betty? So here you go, everyone. What do you think? Is it a picture perfect dish? I hope you love it. This is so tasty. Look at that. It looks awesome. I totally recommend you guys make this. Look how creamy and cheesy. You can see the cheese between the layers. Why not, right? Delicious. It never disappoints. A little bit more. The little rice now. It's really tasty with the rice, everyone. Ooh, the cheese between the layers there. I must have. This is a wonderful dish. Succulent, delicious. And where are you going to find something like this? Any restaurant, you know? I don't. Shepherd's pie like this, you're only gonna find at home. And this recipe is a keeper. You will never eat shepherd's pie the same way again after you try my recipe. It's gonna be difficult going back to the same old one. So if you try it, please let me know in the comment section. What do you think? So, do you want a slice of this delicious shepherd's pie? There's only one way to get it, by making it yourself. This is a spectacular dish. And I know once you try my recipe, all others will be put away. I hope you try my shepherd's pie recipe. It's the only one you will ever need. Thank you for watching.